Hello everyone and welcome to another match reaction show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzy and I'm your host for today's show. The slot machine is in full effect as Liverpool comfortably beat the rivals Manchester United 3-0 at Old Trafford. So during the show, we'll discuss the key moments and then I'll present the player ratings. This is also a calling show, guys. So if you'd like to come on and have your say, the floor is yours. The link is pinned in the live chat, so feel free to hit the link and I'll get you on the show after player ratings. So before we delve into the player ratings, let's talk about the key moments of the game. In the first half, United actually started the game very aggressively and on the front foot from the opening minute, but it was Liverpool who almost stole the show as we scored a goal through Trent Alexander-Arnold, but unfortunately it was ruled out by VAR as Salah was offside in the build-up. While Liverpool finally broke the deadlock in the 35th minute, Casemiro gives the ball away to Gravenberch, who drives with the ball, lays it off to Salah, who then dinks the ball into the 6-yard box. So OZZWRLD and Diaz both leap in the air to hit the ball at the same time, but it was the Colombian winger who gets the final touch and hits the back of the net. So well done to OZZWRLD for ducking and allowing Diaz to head the ball there, as that mix-up could have been costly, and also a great finish from Lucho. United had a chance through their right back Mazraoui as he shoots from outside of the box, but Alisson parries it away just about as his sight was blocked by Van Dijk. So in the end, it was a decent save. Liverpool then make it 2-0 just before halftime as Casemiro, at fault again, unfortunately for United, loses the ball too easily from Diaz's challenge. He lays it off to Salah. Salah returns the favour and Diaz produces a fantastic low shot into the corner to score his brace. Now, big question is, where are all those Anthony Gordon fans right now? You guys still asking him to replace Lucho? I know it's only 3 games, so I'm not getting ahead of myself, but you guys were sleeping on Diaz. His style of play, for me, is perfectly suited for slot ball. He's playing with more confidence and freedom, and long may it continue. Also, in regards to that goal, what an assist from Mohamed Salah. Simply sublime with the outside of his foot. And I think we'll be seeing a lot more of those sort of assists from the Egyptian king this season. In the second half, OZZWRLD has an effort from the edge of the box, and Alisson makes a fantastic save to parry his shot away. But then Liverpool make it 3-0 as McAllister nudges Maino out of the way to pass it to OZZWRLD. He then lays it off to Salah, who hits the first-time shot to rattle the back of the net. Some may question the goalkeeping position, but I'm a Liverpool fan. I couldn't care less about the goalkeeper's position. The Egyptian king gets on the score sheet once again. OZZWRLD has a huge opportunity to get a consolation goal, but his point-blank header is saved by Alisson. Huge opportunity for the Dutch striker. Should have buried it, to be honest. And then moments later, he had another chance as he applies a sliding shot from the right side of the goal, but he's unable to hit the target. So overall, what a win for the Reds. 3 goals today, 3 wins in a row, and also 3 clean sheets. What a start under Arne Slot. To all those fans who thought slot ball was going to be boring, well, I hope you watched the game today, because we absolutely schooled Ten Hag and his boys today. And not to be rude, even if I am, it was a walk in the park against Manchester United today. Despite all their big signings, this team, for me, is still bang average. Ten Hag is still talking about being in transition when it's been about 3 years now. For a team that's been the most successful in the last couple of years, apart from Man City, this is according to Ten Hag. That's a bit of a lame excuse for today's performance. and defeat. Now, you also spent £200 million in this window alone, and you're still toothless in that middle of the park. We're a team under transition as we've lost a manager of 9 years in Jurgen Klopp, and Arne Slott's been in the job for about a couple of months. And for me, I've been so impressed with the way we're playing football now. Big question is, are we the real deal? I wouldn't say it quite so early, as it's a long season ahead of us, but the signs are positive, and who knows what we can achieve this season. What a performance today overall, and a lot of standout players. So let's do the player rating. So if you'd like to call in, if you're watching live right now, feel free to hit the link. I'll get you on very shortly. So here we go. Let's start with the player rating. So Alisson, for me, was fantastic today. He wasn't, troubled a lot. He had probably about around three saves that he had to make sure he parried away. It was that first shot through Mazraoui when it hit straight through Van Dijk's legs, but then Van Dijk was pretty much obstructing Alisson, so his vision wasn't very clear, and still managed to parry it away from the goal. Because sometimes those shots got underneath the keeper, or the keeper saved it, and it somehow spills into the corner. So he did well to stop that one. And then OZZWRLD had the side-footed shot in the beginning of the second half, parried away comfortably by Alisson. And then OZZWRLD had a point-blank header. Should have buried it all day long. No excuses for that finish. But Alisson was on song and made the crucial block to deny the Dutch striker. So I thought he was fantastic today. Really, really good. And, those three saves, they could easily have been a goal on another day. So for me, he gets a 9 out of 10. Just let me add his score now. 9 out of 10. Trent, unlucky not to be on the score sheet. He did score. He did hit the back of the net. But unfortunately, Salah was just offside in that build-up play. But I thought he was really good today. Really positive. Good passing range, of course, on that right-hand side. But the most impressive performance about him today was the fact that he kept Rashford quiet. And, people are like, oh, Rashford's not that same player anymore. Against Liverpool, he always turns out. Let's be honest, guys. So, for me, he did a really good job one-on-one on him defensively. And, yeah, I thought overall had a good game. So, for me, Trent Alexander-Arnold gets an 8 out of 10. Konate, very solid performance once again. I can't really fault him that much. He made one headed clearance, which was good. On the ball, I thought he was decent as well. Just looks really solid, really assured at the back. Seems a bit more calmer as well. Under Jurgen Klopp, I feel like maybe due to the intensity of how we were playing, he was a bit erratic in some of his moments. But since he's come into this team from the first day against Ipswich Town, he's like a very calm, very composed defender and imposing figure as well at the back. So for me, there wasn't many battles that were won in the air. And I feel like he did really well today. So for me, Konate gets a solid rating of 9 out of 10. And alongside him, Van Dijk, I thought Van Dijk was fantastic today as well. Nothing got past him whatsoever. He had to deal with the likes of Bruno Fernandes, who was attacking on his side quite a bit, dealt with him with ease. In the air, don't think he was beaten. Passing, sublime as always. All-round performance, what can I say? So, for me, he gets 9 out of 10 as well. I think as a collective, Konate and Van Dijk were fantastic. Robertson, I thought he had a good game today. Defensively, he had one or two edgy moments where I feel like he should have done a bit better. Passing wasn't as great as the last game, but I think overall play, he was very, very good. Obviously, I'm just nitpicking there, but overall, he was very solid today. Looked energetic, attacked that left flank when required or when he was, able to exploit the space. So for me, a solid performance from the Scotsman again. So he gets 8 out of 10. McAllister, I thought he was much better today than he was in the previous game. Got around the pitch really well. Good passing range, got aggressive when required. So yeah, very impressed with McAllister. And yeah, I feel like the more games he plays alongside Gravenberch, I feel like they're going to form a good partnership. This will be the partnership that we're expecting to start most of our games this season, and hopefully they're able to flourish together. And I feel like today was a good sign that as a combination, they work really well. So for me, McAllister gets an 8 out. Oops, gets an 8 out of 10. Gravenberch, he just keeps getting better and better. Honestly, he was so good today. The first goal was literally through him. He intercepted the poor pass from Casemiro, but drove with the ball. And sometimes when players get in that position, they're quite erratic or they're eyeing the goal because he had acres of space. He could have literally kept on driving the ball and took a shot from distance. But he's very calculated. He drove the ball, took 2 touches, saw Salah in great space on his right side, laid it off nicely. I know it's a simple pass, but sometimes those weighted passes could be the difference of that attacker producing a good pass or not. Salah lifted the ball in the air with his right foot. Thankfully, Szoboszlai and Diaz didn't crash into each other because it was quite close. And obviously, Luis Diaz got the finish in the end. So he played a big part in that role. But generally, his play, Manu found it very trouble to go up against him, fouled him cheekily and ended up getting a yellow card as well. I thought he was dominant, and he's so athletic, and I feel like it really suits his skill set to play in this role. And I feel like the more he continues this form and the more confidence he grows in the coming games, he can be a very unstoppable figure in that middle of the park because he's such a tall guy, strong, very sort of aggressive when he's driving the ball as well. I feel like he's going to be hard to play against. So I feel like we've got a gem in our hands. I've said it a long time ago. I said it before we even signed him that I wanted Gravenberch. So I'm pleased that he's getting his flowers from some sections of the fan base. I feel like he got dismissed far too early, but that's how it is in the modern day of football. So for me, fantastic performance. I'm going to give him a 9.5 out of 10. Mohamed Salah on song today again on the score sheet at the end and provided 2 assists. The assist for the second goal, I loved it. Outside his foot, just about found it because it was in between 2 players. I would need a sort of type of pass. And Diaz, lovely shot to make it his second goal of the game. Salah was very positive today, really good. I think he was actively involved. It's not, sometimes Salah has a quiet game and he's not really involved in the build-up play. Today he was very energetic. He just had a step about him. Sometimes when he receives the ball on the byline, he slows it down. Today, as soon as he received it, boom, he's going infield. He's just so positive, one step ahead, full of energy. And yeah, he ran it up fantastic. He had a couple of shots, so maybe could have extended the lead a little bit. When we scored that third goal, he had a chance to make it 4. Could have been his second of the game, but unfortunately, he kicks it over the bar. So yeah, probably could have added a goal to his name. But no, good to see him playing with such confidence. He had that post-match interview where he said that it's his last year. I don't think he meant it to say in that way. I feel like he was just saying, look, I've got 1 year left. I'm just enjoying my football now. So I'm not worried about contract talks or anything like that. But because it's my last year, people are like, oh, shoot. So you're treating it like it's your farewell tour sort of thing. And no, that is not the case. I don't think that's the case. That's just the impression that I get. But look, in terms of contract talks and all that sort of stuff, we're going to hear these rumbles for months and months. So we'll see what happens with those players. Not something I want to heavily focus right now. I want to enjoy this win against our rivals who talk a lot. Let's be honest. United fans are definitely the loudest in the room, but for no reason. They haven't been successful for a number of years. They always like to put down our success and remind us that how many times they've won the league and all that sort of stuff. Their day will come. Their day will come. Right now, we're playing some really good football. The fans are impressed. The United fans are worried even more so than they were before. So, happy days. But in terms of Salah's performance, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. Solid performance today. Sabozlai, he was good today, but, and you know I'm a big Sabozlai fan, there were some areas of his game where he really needs to improve. One area surprised me because it's one of his strengths, and that's his shooting. He had that chance very late in the game when Conor Bradley cut the pass towards him, and then he just had to smash it. He was like a few yards out. I don't know what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to just be over extravagant with the finish, just smash it in the top bin. So he's being very gun shy right now, and I'm finding it quite frustrating because I know what the player is capable of. Maybe he hasn't shown it enough in a red shirt, but I've seen him do it for Red Bull Salzburg and Red Bull Leipzig. The guy has a rocket when he shoots from distance or shoots in general, because that was not a distance shot. So yeah, for me, he needs to be a bit more confident in his play in terms of being less gun shy. He's made improvements in terms of the final pass, where I feel like today he certainly improved on that. He obviously provided the assist for Salah's goal. So I feel like there are areas of his game that he's, regaining confidence. I feel like that is a big thing. I think he lost his way towards the second half of last season due to injuries, and I think there might have been some personal issues as well. So he hasn't been able to rediscover that form. But now I feel like he's slowly finding that rhythm, slowly getting there. Hopefully we find or we discover the supports that I'm aware of, the one that I've been watching over the years, and he can show it in a Liverpool shirt. Because for me, when he's on form, he can be unplayable at times. So looking forward to his season. He's making continued progression, which is good because he's not standing still. He's not, going back in terms of his level of play. He's improving. Still needs to improve certain aspects of his game. And I think it's down to confidence, not ability. That's just my view there. So in terms of today's performance, I'm going to give Szoboszlai an 8 out of 10. Oops, why is it turned to 7? There we go, 8 out of 10. So Luis Diaz, whew, what a performance from him. 2 goals. The first one was actually a good header. I know it's pretty much an empty net because Onana was on one side, but he was in a more of a tighter angle in comparison to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai pretty much had the face of the goal, whereas Diaz was a bit more slightly to the left and had to angle his header and had to hit it on a certain part of his head in order for him to get that kind of contact. And I feel it was a good finish in the end. The second one, I really like the finish. It reminds me of a Coutinho goal, I think, over the years against Man City, where he wrapped his foot around it. And those type of shots look very easy when they connect, but it's not easy because the ball was coming in a very squarish sort of pass or angle, I should say, and he had to wrap his foot around it and curl it around with finesse. And I thought it was a fantastic goal, really good finish, and he's improving as well. He's really playing with confidence. There was a moment where he was juggling the ball over Maino and someone else. Can't remember who the second player was, and yeah, he's not doing those flicks for the sake of doing it. He's doing it with purpose. So even him hitting those balls, hit the ball over Maino and the other midfielder's head, he still grabbed the ball and then he just laid it off and then he made his move there. So he's playing with more purpose now. He's playing with more intelligence. And I feel like he's using his weaponry to his advantage, his speed. He's not just running down the flank for the sake of it. He's beating the man and then he's causing chaos and he's punishing them now with goals as well. So that's 3 goals in 3 games. Obviously 2 today, and he scored 1 against Brentford. 3-3. He's doing a great job. That is the area that I said I wanted him to improve on in terms of his goal return and assist. And in terms of goals, he's got 3 already. So may it continue. Long may it continue, because there were a lot of doubts regarding Luis Diaz as a player, which I don't get it. Yes, we all have an opinion in terms of certain players, what they bring to the table. Do they fit our style of play? Do they fit the system? Are they effective in terms of their position? And everyone has a right of their opinion. Don't get me wrong. But people wanted Anthony Gordon to replace Lucho. That's the one that boggles my mind, if I'm being brutally honest. I don't. They're not in the same level. They're not in the same league, same wavelength, however you want to describe it. They're not on the same page. They're two different kettle of fish. Diaz is a level above by far. Whether it's technical ability or output or however you want, in areas, you can show me stats if you want to prove a point. I couldn't care less. The eye test will tell me Diaz is a much better player. And I feel like under Arne Slot, he's really going to flourish. This sort of formation is perfectly suited for him. And there's been a slight tweak in his role where he comes a little bit more infield. Under Jurgen Klopp, I feel like he attacked the byline a bit too much. That's why the chemistry between Robertson and Diaz didn't really click, because that would be Robertson's area to attack on the byline and try and whip crosses there. But because Diaz was occupying that role, Robertson would come in field, and it would cause a bit of confusion. And then Robertson ends up finding himself in front of goal and then doesn't really do much with it. But they're forming a good partnership, is growing in the last 2-3 games. And I think it's going to continue the more they play. So really impressed with Luis Diaz's performance today at Old Trafford, scoring 2 goals. Gets a 10 out of 10 for me. I thought he was fantastic today. Not to be a downer, let's talk about Diogo Jota. I thought he was below par today. Not the Jota that we're all used to seeing. In terms of his general play, he was okay. He was pressing really well. I would say that's a positive. But he just wasn't effective on the ball. Attacked the left channels at times to try and get involved in the game, but didn't really have that many shots on. He had that one shot with the left foot, I remember, which he kind of dragged it wide. But yeah, just wasn't influential, unfortunately. But you know, we don't heavily rely on Jota in our attack. He's one of many. So it's good that Szoboszlai, Salah, Diaz, and even Gravenberch and McAllister, they played a part. And it doesn't fall down if one player isn't on song. So that shows you that this team isn't relying on individuals. We play as a collective, and that is the main thing. And that will be the main reason why Liverpool become successful on the Slot. So no, not quite there in your face. Not great in my opinion. So for today's performance, I'm going to give Jota a 7 out of 10. So that is my final rating of the starting 11. Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. Have I been too generous with some of the ratings, or maybe I should give some players 10 out of 10, and I haven't. I've only given one player 10 out of 10, which, you know, let me make him. You know what? I should even say this. 2 goals. 2 goals scored. Salah with 1 as well. And my man of the match, you already know. Luis Diaz is my man of the match. So yeah, so that is my rating for today. I will rate the substitutes, even though I think the most that one substitute play was probably about 15-20 minutes, but nevertheless, we'll still add them onto this to the graphic. So Gakpo came in for Diaz. So we've got Gakpo. And then we also have Darwin Núñez coming on for Jota. Tsimikas for Robertson. And Conor Bradley on for Trent. There we go. So those are the subs. 4 subs came on. No Harvey Elliott, which surprised me. I thought he might have got a game or some minutes today, but maybe honestly, I just wanted Szoboszlai to continue playing and give him a bit of confidence to end the game on those pitch. So international break coming up, so hopefully the squad are rested if they haven't been selected for the national teams, and they'll be willing to go when we return. So in terms of today's performance, Cody Gakpo, yeah, I thought it was all right. Defensively, he was decent, helping the team out. He had that one shot, which he hits it wide. But generally quiet game, so I didn't feel like he was involved that much. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Nunes for me was a little bit poor, if I'm being honest. There were a couple of moments where he had the ball, laid it off to Salah, but Salah was in the offside position. So it's his awareness at in his hold up play is still lacking. I feel like when you are playing at a high level, you need to be a bit more of a ball player rather than just a serial finisher, because even the best strikers all over the world, or even the greatest strikers in our history, were still able to link up play and play with intelligence and lay the ball off when it was required. Nunes lacks that in terms of knowing where the players are. Uh, Needs to be in a half turn a little bit more. I feel like sometimes he's quite flat. So when he turns, he just lays it off without knowing the player's there or not. So areas of his games that he needs to improve. Had a shot as well, hit it wide, should have hit the target. They did have a decent sort of opening to trouble the keeper. There's one good thing where he helped out McAllister, gave a corner away, but in terms of the attacking player, I just don't think it's clicking. I feel like he needs to really work on some parts of his game in order to push for starting plays. Right now, Jota's way ahead of him in the pecking order. In terms of pecking order, I feel like when Chiesa's including the squad, I feel like he's above Nunes as well. And I'd probably say Gakpo's above Nunes if I'm doing the order of who I would play up front. So that's no shade. That's just my opinion. I feel like Gakpo, Chiesa, and Jota are above Nunes just because they have more to their game and then they can be really influential from a striker's role, but they can definitely add goals at the same time. I feel like all three of those strikers are more composed in front of goal. Nunes, a little bit erratic. So some areas of him to improve. But look, not here just to throw shade. This is just normal sort of feedback and criticism of the player. I'm not trying to be harsh or anything like that. It's just what I see on the pitch. So I could be completely wrong, but that's just my opinion. So for Nunes today, I'll give him 5 out of 10. Oops, not 3. That's far too low. I'll give him 5 out of 10. Simicast, yeah, he was kept busy when he came on. Did decent, to be fair, because they tried to play their counter attack quite a bit on that side. I feel like he did a decent job. Didn't have a lot of minutes to make a huge impression. So for me, he'll get an average rating of 6 out of 10. Not 5, I'll give him 6. And Conor Bradley definitely made an impression when he came on. Really attack minded, kept Rashford quiet from a defensive point of view. Almost provided that assist for Szoboszlai in the end, which could have added to his tally. So I thought he had a very positive impact, and it's good to see Bradley when he comes on. He's really energetic and tries to make a difference when he comes on. So yeah, very positive performance from the youngster again. So for me, he gets a 6.5 out of 10. And that is the player ratings for today. So thank you so much for tuning, guys. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. In terms of upcoming content, as I mentioned earlier on, it's going to be an international break. So tomorrow I'll be doing a Premier League match week 3 review show. So I'll cover all the games that took place. I'll speak about this game again with a lot of joy. So yeah, I'll be doing that tomorrow evening at 10 p.m. And then the next show, I'll probably have a break because I normally I've been doing transfer shows, but no more transfer window now. So the next show after that will be on Thursday, where I do a final Premier League prediction show. So I'll be analyzing the squad of all the teams in the Premier League, present the team/squad in terms of what the strengths are, where the weaknesses, where do they need to strengthen if they're able to do so in the January window. So that's how I'll be doing the analysis, and then at the end of that, I'll be presenting a final league standing as well, plus my sort of predictions of who will win Player of the Year and individual awards as well. So that will be taking place next Thursday. Best thing to do is hit that subscribe button, obviously, and hit that notification bell. So as soon as I've uploaded a stream for those shows, you'll be aware. And then once I go live, you'll get another notification to tell you that I am beginning the show. So yep, that's the upcoming content. And then we'll try and add some more content as the day goes on with the international play. I'll try and make some engaging content for you guys. So yeah, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. Also follow me on social media. Follow me at OZWRLD on Instagram. And you can also follow me with the same ID on TikTok and Threads. So yeah, so that is it for today. Just got a comment here from Uncle Rose. Big up, Uncle Rose. Appreciate your comment. Appreciate you tuning in. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning, guys. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak to you all very soon. Goodbye.